An ACC Big Ten showdown doesn't get much better than this. Top 10 action from Dorrance. And we are underway in Chapel Hill. Marty Masudi, Michael Lahoud, our entire crew joining you in a game that should leave us knowing a little bit more about each of these teams. And for the 7th-ranked Teals, they've looked good in the early portion. 14 goals on the season, including 8 in a shutout win, getting the clean sheet against Quinnipiac. Bella Debbie started that one with 3 goals. And the Michigan State team, who, according to Jeff Hostler, they haven't played their best soccer even in the first 2 games. He feels like there's meat been left on the bones in wins over Xavier and Loyola Chicago.
Just goes to show his elevated standard for the team. And you go back to last season, Aria, where the chances were being created, but they were still missing that finishing touch, and it took their 3rd game of the season for them to really come alive. Could history be repeating itself again against a high-quality opponent from the ACC?
Michigan State team, who made the quarterfinals last season, falling to Stanford out of the SEC. Early chance. Charging on is Carolina. They want to have the ball today. Damon Ajas telling us we have got to find ways to control the tempo of the match, attack early, and create havoc against a experienced Michigan State squad. Shot here quickly on frame, and it's Henning, the Canadian international, who's quickly there. Good positioning on a rocket of a shot.
Yeah, and it comes from number 26, Scotty Antucci, who just has this license and freedom to express herself. She's very committed to getting in. The technique is there, but keep an eye on the focus from Henning. She doesn't overreact. She doesn't get her footing and footwork wrong. That's why she's able to make the save.
Here's Julia Bell, number 15 for Michigan State, the junior, who has fought so much adversity to get back on the pitch. A throw for Carolina. Early foul. Head official, Caitlin Trowbridge. The Tar Heels national champs 2 seasons ago. They're 23rd in program history. Last season, they made it to the round of 16, falling to TCU in penalty kicks after a late goal, in which the Horned Frogs were able to find the equalizer with under a minute to play. For the Heels, you know the expectation. It's not just to get to the College Cup. They've done that 32 times, Michael. They expect to win it every single year. That's the standard that's been set.
Yeah, it's really impressive to see the consistency of this program. I remember growing up, and this was the standard as well on the men's side. You think of what North Carolina women's soccer has meant, not just to the college game, but also to the professional game and the women's national team. I'm still in awe of what I see season in and season out. But when you come to this program, it's win or win. There's no alternative.
You know, NWSL's opening day had 21 Tar Heels on rosters throughout the league. 10 more star in Europe. Alessia Russo, of course, has become a star for the English national team as well. And they're always painted in Carolina blue. The high press, early counter press. From Damon Ajas' side, they are trying to dictate tempo in this one. A Michigan State team who no doubt hasn't faced a side of the quality in these conditions on the road so far this season. They have over the last couple of years with an experienced squad. But it was Carolina who was up to the task on Thursday night on the road at Arkansas. A 2-0 victory for the Heels. Played a physical Arkansas team who's tough at home, and they tried to dictate tempo, but it was Carolina, for a young side, who showed a ton of maturity.
Yeah, they have the fearlessness about them, Aria, that I really, really am in awe of, because I remember being a young player. Actually, one of the first college soccer games I played was at this very field, Dorrance Field, and I remember my head coach at Wake Forest, Jay Vinovich, he said, play with no fear. This is the game that you grew up loving in your backyard. First 10 minutes, do the little things right. Trap the ball. I know it sounds insane to say that, but sometimes your nerves as a young player get the best of you, that becomes a mountain to overcome. These Carolina players, this young core, they have zero fear. They have the quality. Now it's about doing the intangibles and the little thing. Pressing, winning second balls, winning third balls. That gets the crowd into it, and it gets your confidence and swagger going.
How does that intensity play up and become more important, Michael, especially early in a season as chemistry is still being formed? Players are still getting their legs under them for the long haul of a campaign, and the technique will come as you get more match fit.
It's doing the hard yards. You're bound together. Goals, block shots, all those things really matter. But when you do the hard yards, when a teammate gets beat and you run 50, 60 yards.
His cross to the top of the 18, deflected out.
You run 50, 60 yards to get their back, there's a level of trust that now starts building up, and we've seen that early on in this season from every single player for the Tar Heels.
Early entry was looking for it. Scotty Antonucci on the cross, the freshman midfielder from California. Ball in from Bellicatino, who's an anchor for this Tar Heel side. The experience of Gatino. A player like Avon Alvarez, who both started 2 seasons ago on that national championship heel squad. This is a young Carolina team, and in many ways, that dynamic is different from the other team they're playing from East Lansing, who has a ton of seniors.
Yeah, look, if you are good enough, you are old enough to play soccer at any level, and that comes with the weight of wearing the Carolina jersey. But I want to say something about Michigan State, because oftentimes you get to see this matchup, and they are just the example of how the college soccer game has grown significantly, where you see it already. They're here to compete first and foremost. It's not just defend, but it is to compete and set the standard that they show that they have the quality to win. If they get a result, what a massive statement that would be for their program.
No doubt about it. Jeff Hostler's done an outstanding job in a short time in East Lansing. Dangerous opportunity here for Carolina on a set piece. Michael, where do you want to see this ball go?
Back post. Back post is everything. If you are a Carolina player, if you loop your run to the back post, you lose your marker, that is where the advantage is going to be.
Towards that penalty spot, headed out. And averting danger for the time being. Running onto the ball was Summer Denigan, the transfer from Georgia. All-American 1 season ago in Athens in the SEC. She's had a nice start to her Carolina campaign. UNC asking questions early. Top of the 18, did that catch? A handball. Play on. And now Michigan State still trying to grow into the match early.
Michigan State doing a really good job of staying compact defensively and forcing shots from outside the box.
It's a matchup to watch. Kennedy Bell can really play. She's found herself inside the box. Cross towards the penalty spot. Outside the 18, shot blocked. And that's what the Spartans can do. Just in a blink of an eye, they have the maturity to be able to hit you in transition.
I love the confidence of Kennedy Bell. This is why she was last season's Conference Forward of the Year. Keep it simple. Know and test the opposing defender, and that's Callie O'Neill. Do you have the speed to keep up with me? You start playing the mind games early and often.
And nothing Callie O'Neill could do. Bell has speed to burn from nearby Charlotte, North Carolina. Kennedy Bell's dad, Myron, a star safety at Michigan State who played 8 years in the NFL, appeared in Super Bowl 30 with the Steelers back in the mid-90s.
Kennedy Bell looked like her dad running the other way with a pick six going to the big house.
Corner opportunity for Michigan State near post. It's dealt with well by Carolina. Second ball. A jostle inside the box. It'll be a goal kick. Early decision time for Caitlin Trowbridge. Something that's new to our game this season in college soccer, the ability for an official review. I don't think we're going to get that here, but that's something to keep an eye on in moments like this.
Yeah, Callie needs to be careful, because when you lose your balance, oftentimes as a defender, especially as a fullback, if you're losing your balance, you panic. And then so your initial human reaction is to reach out, and sometimes you make a mistake of grabbing a jersey or committing a foul.
Those are official reviews in the first 80 minutes have to be initiated by coaches as a coach's challenge. In the final 10 minutes of contests, officials can take it to themselves for a review. And so we've already seen that happen a number of times on our linear networks this season as college soccer is underway. What a summer we had, right? The World Cup in the United States. Michael, I know you did some work there. Yeah. The Women's World Cup next summer in Brazil and the Olympics in 2028. A spotlight on this great sport in this great nation.
I love that we get to feast on the beautiful game on both on the men's and women's side. I remember one of my first tournaments I ever covered was actually the Women's World Cup, and the 2023 Women's World Cup was something I will never forget. I can't wait to see, one, how the U.S. women's national team react to the disappointment of 4 years ago, but also, can Spain keep up with the winning machine?
What a program Spain has put together, men's and women's side. They are cleaning up shop, men's, women's, youth national teams. It is the Spanish sport at the moment, and everyone chasing. American women will have a chance this summer coming up in Brazil to restake their own flag. Heels trying to build out of the back, dispossess. Saw Michigan State dangerous on the counter earlier. Played forward, 23, Bella Najera. Chasing after it, three-time All Big Ten selection.
This is an important game for Najera because just watching the difference between last season and this season, it's almost like she's playing with a bit of angst in her. And so games like this can be the sort of game that gets your confidence back. Just being solid and getting those little 50-50 duels back in your system, that'll get the quality going. And speaking of quality, the quality to get out of pressure right here.
With Summer Denigan able to turn her defender. And a little tug there. Just a little love from Ella Jans. That was something on Thursday night Carolina dealt with, the physicality of Arkansas, who no doubt the Razorbacks tried to intimidate. As this ball vertical, trying to break the lines, not a bad idea. Did it take a touch? It did, from a player in green, so it's a corner for the Heels.
Just touching on the physicality part, oftentimes physical teams, they want the game in front of them, and I think this Michigan State back line, they will feel very comfortable when the game is in front of them. Now, you start asking questions when you put balls over the top for Devi to maybe running behind and play to her strengths, and already it forces a corner.
Scotty Antonucci, who Damon Nahas felt was outstanding against the Razorbacks on Thursday night. She'll take it from the corner flag. Line drive across the 6 in a dangerous spot, cleared near the line. He'll stay on it. Denigan on the edge of the box. Kennedy drops it. O'Neal. Service towards that 6-yard box, turned into a hybrid shot that Henning dealt with pretty easily.
Sometimes as a player, when you see teammates screaming, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open, it's a rush of blood to the head. The diagonal ball, if you're Carolina and you see a set back line, I can promise you it's almost automatic. If you hit a blind diagonal ball to the other side, it creates a 1v1 opportunity with the opposing fullback or winger. That is where the space is out wide for Carolina.
As this game takes its early shape, Michael, what do you want to see from both sides to find success this afternoon?
Look, for Carolina, it's, I think, being direct and really asking different questions of this Michigan State back line. I already see this back three. You need another midfielder, whether it's Scotty Antucci coming in to make a front two with Devi, because right now she's on her own and she's really isolated. From the Michigan State standpoint, speaking of the word isolation, you got to get Bell isolated out wide. Their best opportunity so far came from her drifting from centrally, going out wide, and maybe it's getting 1v1 with O'Neal, and you have the athletic advantage.
Jostling of the ball between both teams, and it'll be a foul on Carolina. You see Summer Denigan on your screen, and what an addition she has been. Top 5 according to Top Drawer Soccer in the preseason top 100, a semifinalist for the Mac Herman last season. 11 goals for the Georgia Bulldogs. She began her career, ironically enough, in the ACC, did Denigan, with Florida State. Played 4 games for Brian Pensky before going down with an injury for the rest of the season, and took her talents to Athens. Good ball over the top, placed towards net, and it's off frame. What an idea for Carolina. A line-breaking pass that Devi just got her foot on, couldn't redirect it into the back of the net.
This is exactly what I'm talking about testing this Michigan State back line. they are playing in a mid-block, but one of the three central defenders has to make a decision. And if you're Devi, I like the ambition, I like the swagger, I like the decision to go for it. But if you knock it by the goalkeeper and heading, then you can get your second shot, but she'll have more opportunities. Good first look at goal for her.
What a ball from Kennedy as well, huh? A terrific ball over the top to break those lines. And Noe Henning ended up doing just enough. Coming out of her box, little sweeper-keeper action. Through ball, too heavy. Henning, who's been named to Canada's U20 roster for the World Cup. More on that later. This game has a ton of U20 upcoming flair from both sides. Representing the United States, Canada. Got players who've represented Colombia.
It's really well done from Henning, and it's right that we highlighted her before ball was kicked. Her composure under pressure is a big reason why she will be taking her talents to the international stage, and to be able to play out of the back, to be able to not rush things, to dictate things. A lot of positive decisions are going to come at her feet and with her hands. And already you see, as you mentioned, her decision to come off the line saves a goal, but also to dictate play out of the back. That could end up frustrating a Carolina side that wants to up the tempo and up the ante.
Mature beyond your years, said Jeff Hosse. Bell inside the box. Cleared out. Now the counter press from Michigan State. Belli. Now Maroney. Bell's touched the ball often early in this first half, as you would expect. Nice job by Carolina closing down.
Yeah, it's Antonucci coming back, showing that she can do the work on both sides of the ball. Been impressed to see the willingness of both teams to just be steady and just say, hey, come and break us down. We're willing to sit in the low block at different times. And Michigan State already getting a bit more confidence.
McPherson, now a shot. And in the end is over the crossbar. I do want to remind you that the ACC Huddle Road Trip continues through August 24th. Catch exclusive interviews with players and coaches of your favorite ACC teams. College football just around the corner. Mike, how do the Deeks expect to do this season?
Just give me a national championship. I'm not asking for much, right? It's not asking for much. No. It's, you know, ask me in 2 months' time, a little family story. My father-in-law actually went to Wake Forest, and he played football back in the 70s. So I'm really intrigued to pick his brain this week to see what he thinks the Deeks are going to do. Last season, he said, don't sleep on the Deeks. This season, well, I'm still waiting to call back from him.
There you go. Fair enough, my friend. Still 0-0 here at Dorrance Fields. We're at Play to Dream Legacy Stadium for this top 10 clash. Carolina picked 5th in the preseason in the ACC. Michigan State, the favorites in the Big Ten. Jeff Hostler didn't like that call and that foul. There's a physicality in the Big Ten that Michigan State is showing you that they're bringing to the table as well.
Yeah, and it really is impacting one of the Carolina players, Hope Munson. We haven't mentioned her name whatsoever, and oftentimes the commentators curse, but you look at the first couple minutes, we didn't really see her get many touches on the ball, Aria, and that's something that Carolina will want to change as this game goes on, because we've already seen her quality, and when she's getting involved in the game, their team looks a completely different sort of team.
See how that matriculates as both teams grow into the match, make their adjustments. Blum carries forward. Green jerseys closing it down quickly. Now Debbie occupying the width. Michigan State forces Carolina back. The heels comfortable on the ball. They win a throw. Intervention there from Emerson Sargent. He was an outstanding player, the senior from Heartland, Michigan. A takedown and a big challenge. Continue to play on.
Oh, it's Julia Belli. What a presence and what a return she's making back to the team. She's been a standout already, just marshaling that back line.
Denigan evading defenders, looking for cross. Now dispossession. Michigan State looking to hit direct. And that final ball cut out. Here's Bell, occupying space. Kennedy Bell is forward, into the box. She's in, her shot, and it's Kennedy Bell. Back in her home state. One of the best players in the Big Ten. And the Road Spartans are ahead in Chapel Hill 1-0.
Well, the warning signs have been there for the Carolina Tar Heels. And we had mentioned it, Aria, that you have to get Kennedy Bell isolated. This is excellent work from Michigan State. Winning the first ball, winning the second ball. And I love this aggressive touch right there, the third touch, because it changes her angle where she can find that corner pocket. This is what doing the hard yards look like. You win the midfield, and then it tees up to win this moment right here for Kennedy Bell. When you put her on a straightaway, she is clutch. She has that clutch gene, and she really shows it there. The composure, maybe a little home cooking as well.
Her second goal of the season. Her family threw her a party. As Michigan State, she's rewarded them with an early goal here in Chapel Hill. We'll be right back.
Are you watching? Good, because it's time to run this city. Get your hands dirty. Do something that changes everything. Whatever happens next, happens here.
Okay, time to do roll call before the game starts.
Let's settle down, everyone. Best teams?
Here.
Best matchups?
I'm here.
Best coaches?
Here.
Best scent?
Here.
Seriously, best hair?
Here.
Bald eagle, huh? Let's get back on script. Okay, best team, any sport, any time, any day, anywhere.
Here.
Best conference? Yeah. Oh, come on, there's one more. Best gallop. Who put that in here?
Pony up.
ACC Huddle, Saturday at 10 a.m. on ACC Network.
Kennedy Bell led the Big Ten in points last season. Has found ways to get on the stat sheet, both scoring the ball and creating for her teammates. This time, it was a terrific ball forward. After a dispossession, her speed and clinical finishing inside the 18 on display.
Now, full credit first and foremost to Ella Jans, because she does the dirty work to tee her up. But as I said, Aria, it's her two touches after she wins possession of the ball. First touch to get yourself that 10-yard just head start. And when she has real estate to really bear down on, you see her pick her head up the entire time. Knowing where the opposing goalkeeper is coming in, already has her mind made up that she is going to dispatch that shot into the bottom corner. And this is what confidence looks like. Number 24 is a confident player right now. And yes, her name is Kennedy Bell.
And how could you not have confidence if you're Michigan State? You look at what you're returning from a year ago, a team that won 15 games, made it to the quarterfinals. 87% of their offense is back.
Yeah,
and that has to breed a ton of confidence and chemistry.
Yeah, and the game before, if you're getting shutouts and yet you're getting wins, but you still feel like there's another level you can get to, that is the stuff of dreams as a group and as a coach. But obviously, getting the likes of Briggs and Bell, they are the ones who define and decide games. And already they've had their impact on this game. As I said before, if you keep Devi and the likes of Home Munson quiet, which they have, minus the breakaway for Devi, you're doing your job overall. Michigan State, deserved leader so far.
Still early in the season, but for Carolina, the first goal they've given up in 2026. And by virtue of that, it's the first time they've trailed all season. So now a response needed from Damon Nahas' side.
This is where you have to go back to some of the lessons you learn, especially as a young group.
Low cross. Ooh, took a poor deflection. And Henning, she was aware of what was going on, the calm, cool composure, and the maturity of Henning.
You have to bail your teammates out when you're playing in the mid-80s, and we're in the state of North Carolina where humidity is a thing. It's not Florida humidity, which I know you know very well, but sometimes your focus, the humidity, playing on a Sunday afternoon, you can lose some of your focus, and this is where you need goalkeepers and teammates to bail you out. Good job by Henning.
Look at the real field there. North of 100. Carolina charging ahead. Slotted through. Played back across. Shot! Oh, it's off the post. Second ball. Michigan State not out of the woods yet. Kennedy. Left foot shot. Takes a deflection. Still Carolina. Low shot. Henning punches it away. It's an onslaught from the Heels. They've responded well after giving up a goal at home. But Michigan State survives. Now in transition. Oh, Bell was running free. And it was Sargent who couldn't quite get it cleanly to spring another transition. Now what can the Heels do?
Good response from North Carolina. So difficult when you've conceded a goal, when Michigan State hasn't had as much possession as you have. You're bearing down on goal. You immediately...
What a ball here. Denigan! We're level. A response from Carolina. And who else? Summer Denigan equalizes here at Darts.
Excellent work from Carolina, and I mentioned the significance of their midfield. Keep an eye on Scotty Antonucci. She was the one that had the shot that hit the post before. She's driving and dictating so much. Inch perfect pass, the weight of the pass, eye-splitting pass right there, tees it up. So Denigan, who is running a diagonal pass for the straight run, all she has to do is just give the deft touch to put it in. That is not an easy goal to score. I've seen plenty of players blaze that over the bar because she's leaning back, Aria, but because the pass is there and it is a pitch perfect pass, you just need the slightest of touches to just drift that into the back of the net. We got game on.
Damon Ahas said Summer Denigan came to Carolina to get better in a number of areas because she wanted to elevate herself for the pro game. She has recorded a goal or an assist in every single game through 4 matches this season for the Heels. And none bigger early in her Carolina career than leveling against Michigan State. What a response from the Heels.
And specifically for her, because she was part of the turnover that led to the goal. So you want to see what character you have in your team. We talk so much about the young players and their test of character. These are for the old players as well, and these are the sorts of games that some of your experienced players, they need to step up to show, hey, even if we go down a goal, we still got this. We still are willing to lead by example, and she's definitely done that there.
Instant impact from Denigan. She carries, the talent on display. Driving defenders forward. Big tackle, stays with Carolina. The confidence brewing for the Heels. Answered that goal from the Spartans in under 2.5 minutes from conceding. And that's what elite squads do. They find ways to respond. First time trailing all season and no more.
Less than 5 minutes. He already won one. This team has been really fun to watch in just a small sample size. Great touch.
Heels feeling confident now. And you can see the energy and the tempo building on their home pitch. It was a terrific statement from Michigan State, scoring first on the road. They've established they're here to play. They want results. They're not here for moral victories, but Carolina has answered, and they're looking dangerous. Shot took a deflection by Lilia Blum. No, they'll say no deflection. It's a goal kick. And it's Blum, the senior, transfer from Utah, who had nearly 60 games of experience joining Carolina this season in the transfer portal, a top 5 class out of the portal for the Heels and Damon Nahas. It's Ella Jans who might be cramping early in this one. I talked to Damon yesterday at practice. He said, I'm still trying to figure this team out. We're going to have a lot of moving pieces. We're going to Ireland next week. 12 freshmen are on the roster, back-to-back outstanding classes. But you lose players like Fossey and Thomas and Della Rose, and it's not easy. But you find some of these freshmen that are as talented as you'll find in college soccer. And that should reload, but it's going to take time. And this season, U20 World Cup, U17 World Cup, your pieces are coming in and out throughout the campaign.
This is why you need depth. And Carolina, of all the things that they have, star players, players with international experience, I've noticed that since the inception of the program, they always have this depth of quality. One goes out, next player up. And it's also the depth of class. You go back to last season, players that, because of Thomas leading the show, Bella Devi wasn't the star of the team. She wasn't the leading goal scorer, but she comes in as a sophomore this season. She takes the mantle coming up. Hope Munson, as a sophomore, she takes the mantle coming up. So,
speaking of, what a turn. And a quick intervention leads to a corner. But Munson's been outstanding.
Oh, incredible. And she's a player that we're going to get into hopefully as the game unfolds, because she's had a quiet first half so far. But what I noticed was, for so many of the opportunities came down the left-hand side, she was the one that created the shot that hit the post. So it's good to see her come to life.
Second corner for the Heels. Antonucci has had a bright first half shift. In swinging ball towards that back post. Not a bad idea. Strong delivery. And it was Gattina who got a hat on it. But Carolina, not that they lack for confidence, but they're growing into this match and dictating tempo.
Yeah, they really are, and it's in each category. When you're a team, especially when you're playing at home and you're playing in front of this crowd, you want to look, are we ticking each and every sort of box there is available in a game? Carolina coming out to high press this Michigan State side, and now it's about trying to suffocate Michigan State, because you've gotten the response. It's 1-1. It's almost as if you're Michigan State, you're playing against a Carolina side that's coming at you in wave after wave after wave, trying to win the ball high and then get to goal as quick as possible.
Oh, terrific piece of individual talent from Blum, trying to spring through Devi. And it's cut down. What's the response got to be now for Michigan State?
It's about connecting passes. One of the things they did, I thought, especially right before they scored their goal, it was, yes, we're defending well, we're winning tackles, we're winning 50-50 duels, but it's what do you do with the next pass? What do you do with the second, third pass? That gets confidence in the team, especially in the midfield. The midfield's suffering right now, Aria, and I think that's why Carolina has a massive foothold in this game.
Yeah, the Heels comfortable on the ball. Connecting passes, pinging it around. Denigan occupying the width, 1v1 under her right. Low cross towards that back post, dangerous. Blasted straight up into the air, and a foul in the end. You're getting a talking to here from Trowbridge, the head official, with Hope Munson.
You always have to keep your focus if you're a defender, but that's a clear-cut foul. And Hope Munson knows exactly what she's doing. Because it's her first time, that's why you get a bit of a warning and maybe just a tap on the wrist. Don't do that again. But it's all about the competitive spirit.
A couple of subs that have happened. Sealey Strawn is in, outstanding freshman. She comes on for Carolina. As does Aubrey Champa, the sophomore for Michigan State. So both teams, you would expect some substitutions today, especially second game of the week for both. Hot temperatures. Heels in transition, pushing forward, carrying into the attacking third. A missed clearance there. White jerseys charging into the 18. But again, heading confident off her line.
Maroney seems to really be struggling right now. I know she's got a bit of the facial protection, and sometimes in the glaring heat, the sun coming down, you lose your focus a bit. And so keep an eye on her in transition. But I just want to point out one small detail. You mentioned subs coming in. Aubrey Champa just ran 70 yards to break up that counterattack. You've already seen that players, especially transition moments, that's how Michigan State, they scored their goal. So she is going to have to really just do some of those doggies on a hot day for Michigan State. Those are the things, and those are the small character things that get your team back in the game.
Intervention by the Heels, and Callie O'Neill It's Faith George who's carrying the ball forward into dangerous areas for Michigan State. Now Bell off the throw-in. Trying to cut it back. It's a corner for Sparty. Second corner for Michigan State as you see Peyton Trayer, the freshman keeper for Carolina, being baptized by fire this season, so to speak. They love her here in Chapel Hill. Damon Nahas saying, I've never seen a goalkeeper so loved by her teammates. Michigan State plays it short. Service towards that penalty spot. Not a bad look. Stays with the visitors from East Lansing. Switching the point of attack, George. Key transfer from USC. 40 games played for the Trojans a couple of seasons ago. Her third straight start.
Excellent work from Strawn, just to cover so many yards, and momentum is a heck of a thing, where since she's come on in the first half, Carolina's actually gotten the momentum back. You might say they scored the goal, but it was actually her positioning. It's given Carolina a foothold in midfield, and it allows other players to step up and get higher starting positions. So she kind of has that bulldog mentality that I really like from midfielders, especially defensive midfielders.
Yeah, Sealey Strawn will be heading to Poland with the U.S.'s U20 World Cup roster. A trio of Tar Heels will be doing that. 59 minutes against Arkansas on Thursday night for Strawn, who was the USL Young Player of the Year with the Dallas Trinity FC a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
1-1 in Chapel Hill. We expected nothing less. A showdown of two teams with high expectations. There are some calling Michigan State a dark horse for the College Cup and a potential national championship dark horse. And Jeff Osler said, how do we manage those expectations? We've really never had those before in East Lansing. This is an experienced group, but you've got to go earn that. They're not just going to give you a College Cup.
You definitely manage it by going to difficult places to play, especially coming to teams like Carolina in the ACC. It could be easy to schedule this at their place. And some of the coaches that I've talked to, I love that the turning point for a lot of programs is when you play games like this, because you do a bit of soul searching and you learn a lot about yourself. It's between the ears in games like this, not just the physical, but the mental. And even though Michigan State, they're under the cosh, so far, they're very much in the game. And they're doing the small things, getting the tactical fouls. They need to get more possession back in it, because you just can't survive your way to a result. Carolina has a lot of quality.
A look here as Strawn went down, maybe the back of her head, hit the ground. Uncomfortable, no doubt. She's back up on her feet. But a player in green now has gone down to a knee. Samantha Maroney, the junior from Colorado, started now all 3 games for the Spartans this season.
Hopefully she's okay. There was a moment just before her going down where she seemed like she was dealing with a bit of discomfort. And hopefully this is where your trainers, the conversations, and I remember this as a player, where some of the most important conversations aren't just what's happening on the sideline, but for a player like Maroney, it's having an honest conversation, having honest communication with your trainer. It's a long season, and hopefully this is where the trust factor comes in, of being honest and saying, am I okay? Yes. If I'm not, I need a break on the sideline to regroup and recover.
ACC fans, the wait is over. Football is here. ACC Network brings you all 22 coverage of NC State at Virginia, followed by Hawaii at Stanford in prime time. Watch on ACC Network and stream on the ESPN app. Saturday, 7 o'clock for Hawaii and Stanford. Week 0 is upon us. Tomorrow begins game week for college football. And Maroney slowly walking off the pitch. Michigan State will turn to Mackenzie Crewer to enter this matchup on the road. And Jeff Hosler actually thought about starting Crewer today and said she's earned an opportunity. She's been so dynamic for us in the time that she's gotten this season. And Crewer, who made her debut this season against Xavier, played 59 strong minutes in that one.
You're going to need every single player at some point throughout a season, and this is why so many coaches oftentimes rely on having depth in the attack or maybe depth in midfield. You need depth in the center back position, especially when you play a back three. Now I'm interested to see, does it shift to a back four or does it shift to a back three? It looks like Michigan State trying to deal with so much of the pressure. Since the break just now, I wouldn't be surprised if they go to a back four to try and deal with the overload on the width, because Carolina, they are cooking them out wide, and you need another defender to come and really give you that competitive advantage and numerical advantage to match them 1v1.
It looks like it'll be Crewer and Belli in a center back pairing. How does the communication become paramount now?
It's down to Belli. Belli's so aggressive to step out. If you're Crewer, you have to go and have her six. You have to have pressure, cover, and balance. But now you have to survive this moment, especially if you're Crewer. You have the height, so being aggressive in aerial duels, that'll give you confidence.
Third corner for Carolina. They opt to play it short. On the width, Antonucci towards that back post, looking for a head of a teammate. And punched out, still with the heels. UNC asking questions, crunching tackles, clips the heels. Will this be a booking as well? At minimum, it's going to be a dangerous set-piece opportunity for Carolina late in the first half.
It's going to be on Emerson Sargent coming in, and Sargent's actually dropped in quite a bit at different times, Aria, where we see this. If it's not Bell or it's Sargent who will come in and do some of the dirty work, but you have to keep your feet moving, and maybe it's a bit of tired minds and tired legs, but she dives in and she gets caught, really.
It's an adventurous spot here for Carolina. Maybe just close enough to entice you to put it on frame, but just far enough that maybe this is service to the 6-yard box. Michael, what do you think?
If you're Antonucci right now, there are two players open on this left-hand side, even maybe a 3v2. So loft it in, get some air on it, and then you'll have an opportunity.
Good ball across towards that back post. It takes a deflection out, and it's a corner for Carolina. Pretty terrific delivery from Antonucci.
Yeah, Bella Gaetano coming in. If it wasn't Gaetano, then Strawn would have been there if this ball ricochets. That is a goal-saving tackle right there, because Gaetano was there to maybe ricochet it in.
Crewer, who has just entered the match, terrific intervention to prevent Carolina from taking the lead. Another corner for the Heels. Inside that 18. Strawn angling. Munson. She's pushed back. Heels reset. Strong work from Michigan State. Team defending. A tough shape to break down. And another player down on the left side of your screen at home. Looks like it's Gaetano.
Oftentimes on set pieces, bodies are flying, hands are flying, and it's tough to tell there. She puts her body on the line, and hopefully she's okay first and foremost. First I thought maybe it was an elbow that comes in, or a forearm.
Yeah, you can see it there, a forearm to the nose.
When that part of the body comes in and your face is exposed, and if you turn your body halfway, you're not really seeing where arms, fingers, elbows are flying, and it's incidental contact. So in an age where there's reviews, well, I keep that in mind if you're going to review that. I would be shocked if anything came of this other than hopefully she's okay.
That's a good observation indeed, Michael. And it's a Carolina team who was prepared for a fight today against Michigan State. They knew what the Spartans bring to the table. As Gattino now sitting up. On Thursday night against Arkansas, the Razorbacks were up for a fight. They were trying to position and get into the heads of Carolina. And you could see a moment where Bella Gattino had with an Arkansas Razorback. And Damon Nahas said earlier this week to us in our coaches call, I don't want it to get out of hand, but I don't mind our team standing up for themselves.
Look,
there is mental warfare that is important in games.
Sports are about competing, and sometimes when you compete, it gets emotional. Soccer's an emotional game, and it's good to see her standing up, and hopefully she could take a breather. But I like that in my players. I like players that toe the line, not cross the line. And it is okay to toe the line, because in big games, that is what happens. I want competitors, and that is why Carolina has been a standard of excellence. That's why the ACC has been a standard of excellence. Whether it's Gattino or other players on a Florida State or other teams, you're going to see that fiery attitude and mentality across every team in this conference.
It's so true. There are times when you're just going to be in for a fight like we talked about. The flow of the game's not going to be there. It's not going to be beautiful football. You're going to have to be in a boxing match sometimes, and you got to come out on top.
And hopefully Caitlin Marrow will be ready for a boxing match as well, because that is no small player that she's just replaced. And when there's less than 10 minutes, you have to have your mentality correct, and she has some good supporting pieces around her. They're going to calm her down. But I agree with you about that boxing match. I've seen that certain players, they actually become the protagonists when it's those sorts of games as well. And maybe I was one of those players. 50-50 duels is what? Gonna out myself a bit, but I loved it. I love the fiery edge in games like this.
Turn on your average CONCACAF match. Forget the football. You're not playing pretty soccer today.
Oh, that football optional in those games, men's and women's.
Carolina charging onto the 18. Left-footed shot is high over the bar. That was Debbie. Debbie outstanding as a freshman 1 season ago. Was actually in high school the Utah Gatorade Player of the Year and high school All-American. And so this trajectory has been predictable for a player who has progressed the way that she has. Already has matched her goal total from a season ago. Through 3 contests, now here in her 4th in her sophomore year.
You know what I love about that, Aria, is we are now saying that the state of Utah is becoming a soccer hotbed. You look at some of the players on this Carolina Tar Heel squad who come from the state of Utah. Hope Munson coming from Utah as well. So I love that the game and the love for the game is spreading, and I would not be surprised if having the Utah Royals in Utah, and this is where NWSL comes in. This is why having expansion teams in different places in different regions is so important, because you never know where your next diamond in the rough is going to come from, and Carolina reaping the rewards of that.
Debbie calm on the ball. One-touch soccer from Carolina. Strawn, square to O'Neal. And now Blum onto her right. Cuts it back to her left. Turns, and it's a great cross. Swung it across that 6-yard box. Nobody home to punish it in. Now Alvarez. So steady. Takes a bit of a knock. They continue to play. Turnover. Hale's asking questions. Little extra push. That was from Debbie.
And it was on Kruer. And we had talked about what Kruer needs to do. She has the physical frame, but it's how she positioned herself, knowing that oftentimes I think defenders forget that the sidelines and the end lines are your friends. So if you position yourself between the goal and the end line and force it to the right-hand side, knowing that Debbie wants to get towards goal, then you've done your job.
Yeah, it's a big moment here. Amari Manning, Deuce, Stanislas entering the match for their Carolina debuts. Back from the U17 World Cup in Japan with the Americans. And Michael, you and I thought that they would get an opportunity today to get reintegrated. And we knew Damon Nahas would have to pick his moments in a match to not disrupt the chemistry, but to allow them to get their feet wet in a big matchup like this one. Both so talented.
And there's going to be a massive injection of pace. And if you're Michigan State, watch out. Meet coming in hot, because you think if there's 5 minutes left in just over 5 minutes, it's 1-1. This is where you have to have your communication on point if you're Michigan State. But if you're Carolina, get the young players going, because they want to make an impression and really prove a point.
Early touches for Stanislas. Confident on the ball, charging towards that 18. Was looking to play it through. At that penalty spot. Blum has it redirected out. Now Strawn. Penny. Stratton, Izzy Stratton also in the game. Transfer from BYU. So 3 subs for Carolina. Trying to take the lead near the end of the first half. This is where Michigan State has been dangerous when they find the feet of Bell. Here's Bell again. Bell is through. She's into the 18. She's in on goal. Her shot just misses the near post. Might have took a deflection too. It did not. It'll be a goal kick. Oh, but Bell so dangerous in the open field.
Yeah, this is their tactic. This is what's on. Keep an eye on Callie O'Neill. That is a wild card of a challenge, but you do not have to win the ball. You just have to make sure that you divert Bell's run to an angle that she's uncomfortable with. She does just enough, getting a slight touch on the ball to really mess up the trajectory of Bell's run, and that's why she skews her opportunity. So great last-ditch tackle. Also reminds you that this game can change on the turn of its head for Michigan State.
Just made her uncomfortable enough. And it looked like Trayer had that near post covered too, just in case. Good emergency defending from Carolina in transition, but you see what Bell can do. And no doubt Michigan State will go back to that well in the second half. Under 4 to play. Sophia Piotrowski in the game. And Piotrowski, the senior from Troy, Michigan, she's in for McPherson. So both teams going to their bench to try and buy a few minutes at the end of the first stanza.
We're starting to see Emerson Sargent get more touches on the ball, and she had the pass that almost made it through for Bell, and now she's dropping in, and they're really interchanging a bit. The Spartans are going to have to do that a bit more, and for Sargent, who's really a good back-to-goal player, who's usually the one playing centrally, leading the line, when you're frustrated, you have to be clever with your movement, and those half spaces in front of Carolina's back line is going to be there. It's what you do afterward that really makes a difference. Can you get on the half turn? Can you win the ball, pick your head up, and make the right decision? That will decide a lot of things going forward for the Spartans.
Under 3 to play in this first half. How do you evaluate who's had the better run of play?
Carolina 100%. To go down a goal, the shots say it, and I'll be interested to see how many shots have come in the last 20 minutes or so, and really post that cooling break. You saw 2 different teams come out of that. Carolina definitely having all the momentum.
Stratton on that right side. It'll be a throw for the Heels. Stanislas. Penny charging in. Her shot with a left foot. A little high. Lilia Blum, rather the senior. She's played now on both sides, left and right, looking dangerous on both.
She's really come to life in the last 15 minutes. I'd be really intrigued to see in the second half if she does not continue to play on this right-hand side. Munson not really having the impact that we're used to seeing early on in this season, but this is where versatility, and that's what makes Carolina so dangerous, is it's different players that can step up to solve different parts of the jigsaw puzzle. She has been in the net positive for that today, creating chances, getting shots on goal. It's just about that little quality and composure in the final third to get the goal.
Lacey Kindle in for Michigan State, the freshman from British Columbia in Canada. And speaking of Blum, as you mentioned, coming to life here late in the first half. She had a goal against Arkansas, the second, which ended up being the breathing space needed after Summer Denigan's opening penalty kick in that 2-0 victory against the Razorbacks. Stratton's ball cleared under a minute. It's been a terrific first chapter of this top 10 showdown. Both teams scoring. Kennedy Bell in the 21st minute, giving the Rhodes Spartans the lead to make it 1-0. And it was Summer Denigan who scored just moments after in the 23rd to make it 1-1. Final few moments tick off the clock here in this first half, and it's 1-1 after the first 45. Michael, pretty entertaining first half here in Chapel Hill.
A competitive game, and really the matchup that we thought we were going to see Michigan State coming out the stronger of the two teams, getting their chance, being opportunistic, but the quality of Carolina.
Maggie Pierce, who is a midfielder for Shelburne United, that almost allows for a second preseason for the Heels to find out what they have.
And it also allows some of your young players that had to go away with the U17 national team as well to get their feet wet and get back and reintegrated in the team. A great opportunity for everyone to showcase their talents.
It'll be a fun weekend across the pond for Tar Heel faithful. Arya Masudi, Michael Lahoud. Start of the second half between 5th-ranked Michigan State, 7th-ranked UNC. And you see that stat popping from out of the bug. North Carolina outshot Michigan State 8-1 after conceding that opening goal.
You have to give full credit to the three players named at halftime, especially Bloom. She seemed to be the one who was putting the onus on creating opportunities and showing her versatility as well. I thought much more chances started coming from the right-hand side when she moved to the right-hand side, and now she's going back to playing as a right fullback or even a right wingback.
Early crunching tackle on Ella Jans. She's slow to get up, but back on her feet. It's a throw-in for the Heels. What adjustments specifically do you need to see from North Carolina?
For North Carolina, it's much more of the same. In the first half, especially when they conceded, I just thought Devi was isolated. It seemed like they were trying to force the issue of getting balls in behind and using her pace to almost devastating effect with the 1v1 opportunity, getting midfield runners in and around her, the interchange.
Blum across,
having interchange, having third player runs. That's how they scored the goal. But if you have a striker who's going to stretch the opposing back line, spaces and gaps are going to open up for midfield runners to go in and have their looks.
Michigan State in transition on the counter. This is where they've been their most dangerous. Finding the feet of Bell. Bell in the 18. Charging in 1v1. Now looking for teammates. Her cross blocked. It'll be a throw.
Kenny Bell had a window of opportunity and the window closed. Excellent work from Emerson Sargent, doing what she did when she created the chance, dropping in underneath Bell. Bell peeling out wide, but you have to be aggressive with your first touch. That's how two of your opportunities came up. She just was a bit too lax on it, and that's why the window closed.
From that right side, backside cross towards the 6. Took a deflection. Chasing it on the near side is Jan's ball redirected. Somewhat mishit. Like the idea from Michigan State's number 28, Renee Watson. There's nobody in green home.
The intent was there, but just that little quality that was missing in the service. First time opportunities are going to be there when you're serving balls in to a static back line, but you get a little bit more quality and technique on it. I think her technique let her down.
Penny was looking to spring Devi. Stays with Carolina. Here's Alvarez. It's also her final game before the U20 World Cup for the U.S. The captain for the Heels. Through the spine. Through ball. Devi beats it to the end line. Good closing down speed from O'Neal. Stays on her feet. Now Munson. Carolina will look to build again out of the back.
Aria, just that opportunity that Munson had, that was one of the first times that we've seen Hope Munson get involved in the game. Now she's playing on the left. In the first half, when she started, she was playing as a right winger, and I like that from Coach Damien, because you're trying to see how you can get some of your players who may have not impacted the game as much in the first half, how you can get them in the game. So we've seen players switch sides. Now we're seeing Munson get in on it, and here's an opportunity.
A whistle before Denigan was able to run onto the ball. And it's a foul on Sealey Strawn. So it's Strawn and Munson headed to the U20 World Cup alongside Avon Alvarez. This will be their final game.
Hopefully that's the chopper coming to pick them up after this game's now but notice.
Well, everybody's getting on a plane for Carolina, like we talked about. The rest of them going to Ireland or Poland, depending on what the assignment is. But that presents a unique challenge because it's over a month long, that U20 World Cup, and then the U17 World Cup comes around in Morocco, and Carolina is potentially set to lose their 2-star freshman. Inside that 18, it was Antonucci. She had a bright first half, has put in a great shift so far, earns a corner.
She could end up becoming the most important player during that time as well, Aria. Her quality is undoubted in terms of how she impacts games. Obviously, that fearlessness I talked about for Carolina, she's the embodiment of that. And so different players have to step up to take different responsibilities, and in this early part of the season, she has.
She's earned the trust for the set pieces of her team on these corner kicks. Oh, shot here. Just mishit. Henning got her glove to it, and it was in a dangerous spot there for Strawn. Just couldn't quite get the ball down and on frame.
She was always on the back of her heels rather than trying to meet it. And when you're at the back post, and Carolina do a good job overall of trying to isolate players and attackers on that back post. We see it in some of their set piece services. We obviously saw it on the corner kick, but she has to go and meet the ball, not the ball meet her.
Much like the first half, it's Carolina controlling the lion's share of possession early on. Turnover here. What can UNC do with this? Devi cutting back to her right. Through ball. Denigan trying to turn it on frame. And Michigan State survives it. And now maybe they can get into transition. A run from the outside back position. That's Faith George. It's cut out. Terrific defending from Carolina getting back.
Carolina having commitment from so many players. Just speaking of commitment, one tactical wrinkle that Michigan State are doing is Kayla Briggs. She's known for being a wide player, maybe a wide attacker. Now she's showing her versatility playing in the middle of the park. And when you're trying to get yourself back in the game in terms of momentum, sometimes as an attacking player, you need to sacrifice yourself, sacrifice your position so you can get the team an extra body in there. Because when the momentum shifted, Carolina started dominating the middle of the park. And so the Spartans are trying to get and wrestle back control of that middle by putting her in there.
Feels like much of this game for both teams have been played out on the width. Neither team really able to control the spine of the park, as you mentioned. How does Jeff Osler's side find a way to enjoy more of the ball?
It's getting Emerson Sargent more of the ball. She's shown the cleverness of how to lose her marker, because Carolina at different times, it'll be a back three.
As Bell, touch here, her shot, it's off the post and in. Michigan State strikes quick, and the Spartans pull ahead. And it's Kennedy Bell, a brace, back in her home state in front of family and friends. And she has stunned this Tar Heel crowd.
Incredible for Kennedy Bell. Kennedy Bell, you can dance all you like. And look, if you are Emerson Sargent, if you are Caleb Brigg, and I mentioned Emerson Sargent being the one to really define this second half, it's a bit of a lucky touch from her, but it's the intention about being aggressive to meet the ball. Composure yet again, Aria. Right place at the right time, but the right opportunities for top players. Her first touch, her technical ability yet again on both goals. That is why she's one of the top goal scorers in the country. And if you're a professional coach, you're looking at a player that I would definitely be scouting and thinking, okay, how do we get her on the draft board? Because she is that good in these sorts of games. Good players step up.
Kennedy Bell, ruthless. Not just in the dance moves, but in the box, in her finishes. And it's a Michigan State team that is confident, they're hungry, they're experienced. They have chemistry and they've gelled together now a number of years. And this was a match for them they knew was a bit of a statement opportunity to put Michigan State on the map, not just in the Big Ten, but nationally. And so they have taken one large step forward in that quest.
And the thing that I love about it so far is they've had to suffer. They've had to suffer a lot without the ball. Kennedy Bell has had to suffer without the ball. There's sometimes you've seen Emerson Sargent and Kennedy Bell taking chances and taking opportunities to track players back. In the first 2 minutes, already see Bell right now making a tackle. She gets knocked down. Players, your top players, your attacking players, everyone has to show that level of commitment to get the result.
Carolina looking to respond yet again. Shot here, denied by Headache. That was Munson. Now coming to life on that left side. Was enjoying some space, charging into the box.
Much better from Munson, showing her 1v1 ability, and it's the small touches that leads to the big touch. She baits you in with her first 2 touches, and then showing that separation speed. Henning as well, showing her quality. And a big reason why she's going to be an international coming up soon.
Alvarez carries forward from that center back position. Munson cuts it. Trying to play it square to Antonucci. Gattino given the freedom to charge into the box. She carries the ball in. Cross. And it's blocked. And this is where Michigan State's so dangerous. Sargent over the top. Bell. Some spin on that ball. Might have prevented Bell from breaking her lines again.
Incredible work.
Bell's down behind the play.
Incredible work from Alvarez, because that is a goal-saving tackle. And obviously we see that Bell taking the crunch and the meat of that challenge on her ankle. So hopefully she can get back up. But as far as having to be aggressive, when you're the last player back, you have to get that 100% right because of the breakaway speed of Bell. And if you're the Spartans, you want to make sure that Bell is feeling 100% okay, because a lot of her game is based on speed. And I've been there as a player. On a hot day, when it's 100 degrees plus in terms of how it feels, if your ankle's not feeling as great, mentally it starts affecting you. So if you're the trainer, if you're the team, making sure she's okay. And Alvarez, it's sliding through. So that is not a foul because she gets the ball first. She does get Bell with the second touch, but because she makes contact with the ball first, that is why it's not called a foul.
Preseason Herman Trophy forward to watch, and for good reason. Had 11 goals last season. Already now 3 this season, 2 here this afternoon. And a game that's predicated not just on speed, but the technique immaculate. She's worked on strikes. from outside the box. That's something that she's added to her game this season, is long-range efforts to round out her entire arsenal. And you certainly hope that she's okay as we take a look at her impact in this one. Kennedy Bell has shown you breakaway speed and ruthless in transition.
When I watch Kennedy Bell, there's times when you just see her first couple steps, her ability to round out her runs. It's much like Alex Morgan coming up through the college ranks. I remember watching Alex Morgan playing her college soccer in the state of California. The composure, the way she just curls her runs, but also the just nose for goal. Every single time she gets in on goal, it's never straight at the goal. She's always running off the shoulders of defenders, a la an Alex Morgan. Speed kills, but really composed finishing is devastating, and she's been devastating in this game.
You watch players like Alex Morgan and Trinity Rodman and Sophia Smith and now Sophia Wilson, and it's that first touch that springs themselves forward, right? And they put themselves in such a good position, and then clinical finishing on top of that. And you hope Kennedy Bell's okay.
Yeah, really hope she's okay as well. Oftentimes we see this where so many teams, I remember watching this with Notre Dame last season. You and I covered some of Notre Dame's games where when the majority of your goals are scored by one or two players, and in this game right now, the goals are all scored by one person. If you're Carolina, you're breathing a sigh of relief because you're thinking, oh man, we can't live with Kennedy Bell right now with her pace. Now I'm looking to see the response from Carolina to see, do they get back to high pressing? Because their press created some chances. They just didn't take them before the goal came.
And to use a baseball term, Michigan State's fastball has been going to Kennedy Bell. Really, they haven't looked ultra dynamic with variety. It's been transition, find the feet of Bell in space. Now as Kindle comes in for Bell, that could change a little bit. And Michigan State's going to have to find ways to be able to get into some good spaces.
I'm interested to see how Emerson Sargent changes how she plays, because her and Bell have such an interesting dynamic. I think last couple games you saw Sargent being more the focal point and Bell being the runner, maybe dropping in at times. This game, they've changed roles, and it is really having an impact. Carolina don't know what to do when Sargent comes in and plays underneath like a second striker. So now, if you're Sargent, I would be the one to go and fill that Bell role. She doesn't have the same speed, but she's just as clever and has the right technique.
Now it'll be fascinating to see Carolina's response. Strawn, confident, carrying forward. Munson, Blum, her shot just past the near post. Not a bad effort, not a bad idea. Carolina again looking threatening.
One of the first times we've seen them attack down this right side, and it's about getting the balance. In the first half, so much came down their left, but the consistency and the name that we've mentioned so often has been Blum. Unfortunately, she's the player that she has this two-footedness about her, and so oftentimes we see her at times getting a lot of reps with shots on her left, but just didn't have the right accuracy and power.
15 shots for Carolina, just 4 on frame so far today. Here's Blum, number 12 with the ball. Penny. Blum chooses to cut it inside, through ball. Terrific idea. Just a bit too much speed. And again, Henning, confident off her line, read it well.
Well done from Henning, and you have to give credit to Julia Belli. She has been excellent this game, and yes, you trust your star-studded goalkeeper to come out and be aggressive, but you also have to track your runner. You can never take it for granted that your goalkeeper is going to get it, so both players doing well to see that play out.
Kendall had Najera running and just didn't see her, not on the same page. Leads to a turnover. Now Carolina in transition themselves. Denning. Summer Denigan on the ball. O'Neal. Another player going down. Well, it's been that kind of day for both sides. That's Gattino. 23 combined fouls in this one. Physical. It's a hot day in Chapel Hill. It's pushing into the 90s with a heat index over 100. So challenging conditions here in the month of August. I want to remind you that ACC football is back, and so is ACC Huddle. Taylor, Emac, Eddie, and Jimbo are in Charlottesville for Week 0 as NC State takes on UVA. Watch on ACCN and stream on the ESPN app. Munson will come off, and Amari Manning will come on. And Michael, you and I have talked about the U20 World Cup. And for Carolina, you see the 3 players in Alvarez, Strawn, and Munson that will represent the United States. Noe Henning will represent Canada, could even captain that Canadian side. Henning's gotten a couple of call-ups with the senior women's national team and played in a match against the United States last summer in a friendly. And so the talent on this pitch, and not just today, but if you look at the ACC and the Big Ten, they've got some outstanding players that are representing international countries as well.
I love that we are rewarding young players and players in the college game with opportunities like this. And I think if you look at the U.S. women's national team, especially in the last 3 or 4 years, especially with Emma Hayes coming in, you think of the under-23 camp that she does. Do not be surprised if between now and the next, maybe not this next World Cup, but the one after that, we could be seeing some of these players being part of the U.S. women's national team pool and group as well. And so seeing the seriousness that U.S. soccer takes with the under-20 World Cup is awesome to see. Look, I remember having teammates of mine going to the U20 World Cup, and there was this sense of pride as a group that you want to send them off in the right way, in the right manner, because it's a celebration of the collective, not just the individual. That yes, your Hope Munsons, your Alvarez's, your Strauns, they are part of a group. They're excellent individuals, but they have a supporting cast that tees them up to go and do what they do best. So these games matter to tee them up, and hopefully from a physical standpoint, players like Munson get out of here unscathed.
Excellent point, no doubt. Just over half an hour to play in Chapel Hill. It's Michigan State on top at the moment, 2-1. It's been a back and forth affair at Dorrance Field. Alongside Michael Lahoud, I'm Mario Masudi. This has lived up to the billing. 2 top 10 teams intentionally scheduling each other to find out what both are made of early in respective campaigns. We've got a stoppage of play. Perhaps a review. But if I'm not mistaken, Michael, would have to be a coach's challenge.
Really interested to see what comes of this, because it's a potential handball. Julia Bell, Aria, I've got 20/20 vision. I don't have 2015 vision like you, but that didn't look like a handball. It looked like it hit Belli in the chest. Obviously, the question and the point at hand is her left arm is outstretched. Both arms are outstretched, and when you're making your arms outstretched, you are making your physical profile bigger in an unnatural position. The point that they have to get, and this is why slow motion sometimes can be your best friend or your next enemy when it comes to reviews. You have to get it spot on, because this is a call that could change the entirety of this game. And at the last World Cup, we saw so many referees get it wrong. So if you are Caitlin Trowbridge, today's referee, you have to make sure that it's clear and obvious that Belli's left arm, I still think that from this angle, it's not conclusive enough that it touches her chest. I think it touches her chest. Look right there. That is her chest. That is not her arm. But like I said, I have 20/20 vision, not 2015 vision, like our referee Trowbridge today.
Let me tell you what, I was with Patty Foss last weekend in Clemson. He batted 1,000 on his official review calls.
Oh, man, you put me on the spot.
No pressure. And that's a new wrinkle, right? This year in the college game. The ability to challenge for coaches. You get 2 of them. And there is a math to it, right? You might as well use them if you're going to lose them. And so Damon Ahas thinking, let's go ahead and see what happens.
Yeah, and it comes at the right time, too, because as a coach, you're looking to get anything that can spark your team back into the game. And obviously, this is a golden opportunity. Look, if an opposing defender is going to have their arms outstretched on a 1v1 opportunity, they're putting themselves in harm's way, and they're putting their team in harm's way and giving an opportunity to call this. Like I said, that hits the chest. That does not hit the arm of Belli for me, but obviously we'll see what the referees decide on, because my 20/20 vision can be misleading, although I don't think so in this moment.
I have a feeling you're going to be spot on with this one. We'll wait for Caitlin Trowbridge to come out and announce it to the crowd and to us as well. Will stand. No handball. Michael, 1 for 1.
And so my reputation stands, I see.
You may continue.
Thank you.
Much to the chagrin, though, of Damon Ahas, Carolina still has 1 challenge remaining. Michigan State has both. Piotrowski is in for Michigan State for Jans.
Now in match with Spartans, number 4, Sealey Piotrowski.
See what Sophia can do, the senior, playing in her 3rd game. She's gotten action now in all 3. Throw in for the Heels, down 1. And for a long throw into the box, and cleared out for another Carolina throw up against the brick.
For Carolina, unlike previous seasons, they're a bit undersized in the attack. Oftentimes we see Carolina players of different physical builds. They're a team that's predicated more on transition and pace. Obviously, they have the quality to break you down as well. So we've seen them stifled a bit at different times. This is where you have to be clever if you're Devi, of maybe coming short, dragging Spartan defenders with you to maybe create running lanes off a throw-in or passing lanes once you knock the ball down and get the ball in play. But getting the ball in play as quick as possible, getting the tempo back up for the Tar Heels, that is something they need to do, because a slower tempo favors Michigan State.
And the Spartans have been opportunistic. They've seemed comfortable suffering, giving up positioning, giving up territory. But when they do win the ball, they've been direct, they've been vertical, they've been quick. And it's been Bell twice that's got the road team on top.
It's the toughest thing when you're an opposing back line. And I played in the back line once, and I think that was enough for my coach to say never again, because I was a midfielder by trade. But one of the things I found so difficult, especially being on a team that was used to having possession, was used to outscoring teams at Wake Forest, was you have to have this sense of focus. You have to at all times think, what if this possession goes wrong? Where is the closest sense of danger? Where is the most dangerous player? And what Candy Bell does is she never is static. She never stays central. She oftentimes drifts out wide or in the channels, and that is where, as a back three, you have to know and have this awareness about you. And 3 times, Carolina's fallen asleep in transition. 2 times, they've been punished, and that's the difference in this game.
I do think that humility comes with experience, right? A team that's older, veteran, and okay playing this way in certain matchups when they're not going to have a large portion of the ball. And that's what's been so impressive from Michigan State. They look comfortable playing the way they want to play. So adaptable to the game and the environment. That ball over the top. Unlocking the lines. A push in the back. And play on, no call, no foul. And we'll see if Michigan State chooses to challenge. Jeff Hostler has 2 of them remaining, and he does challenge. This one will be interesting.
Took the words right in my mouth, Aria. The moment the contact happened, you saw Coach Hostler immediately run to the sidelines and the officiating crew right there. Look, the one thing is, what angle does Gatino take? My personal opinion, that is a foul. That is a tackle from behind. But the next question is Sargent losing her balance going down? She has just the advantage right there. The first touch is there. The next touch is, that's a foul. Unfortunate for Tar Heels fans. Sargent is barreling on goal, and it's the right leg of Gatino that trips her up, and she has the right angle. She takes the first touch. She's aggressive. She's cutting off the angle of Gatino, and those are the fine margins. Those are the risks you take if you're a defender coming back, that you have to make a play, but you also cannot tackle someone from behind. So I would be surprised if this is not given as a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity and a red card.
And that is the wrinkle in this as well that makes this challenge oh so interesting, because she is in on goal. It would be a denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity if it is indeed a foul, which would mean a red card.
The initial point of contact is the right forearm, which is slight contact. You're allowed to initiate that. But we often see this of, it's a bit clumsy from Gatino. It's incidental, but incidental goes out the window when it comes to last-ditch opportunities and tackle. There was a tackle in the first half that Callie O'Neill makes on Candy Bell. She gets a bit of Bell, but because she makes a point of contact on the ball first, that is why the call stand and the player is allowed to go. This is a clear-cut red card for me, and Dogso.
Wouldn't that change the complexion of this match? With over 27 minutes left to play and Michigan State up a goal, that would reduce Carolina to 10 players for the remainder of the contest, and down a goal. Would be a monumental task to overcome both. And if you're Jeff Hostler, you have to love the way that your team has played. Fearless, humble, mature, organized, and they have found their moments, and they've been clinical in every single opportunity that they've been given.
In games where you have clashes of titans, it's a chess match of the highest proportions. The one thing that Michigan State have done is they have exposed counterattacking opportunities time and time again.
It will be a red card and a denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity. Gatino will be sent off. And this game has been turned on its head. What a shift. Carolina reduced to 10 for the final 27 minutes and 29 seconds. 63rd minute red card, and Gatino sent off.
The point of contention here is, where is the point of contact? As I said, the right leg of Gatino is what trips up Emerson Sargent, but Sargent was so intelligent of being aggressive with her first touch to bait Gatino in, and Gatino took the bait. And it's a rash challenge. It comes with being in a poor position, because she was the one that was supposed to be on Sargent in the first place. And this is what kind of the emotions and just the high stakes brings. It brings really big decisions, and that was a big decision from Gatino.
Carolina has got to prevent themselves from going down 2 goals. 19 yards out. Najera standing over the ball, as is Watson. Peyton Trayer, rookie keeper, out of California.
Jump or no? Sure.
It'll be Najera curling it in. What a class strike from Bella Najera. And Michigan State celebrates. Now up 2 on the road.
The Michigan State Spartans, they are making a statement of the highest proportions early on in this women's college soccer season. It comes from a player who has been desperate for this moment, Aria, in Bella Najera. Last season, she was just a house on fire, and the quality that she has never been in question. It's the consistency to have big moments like this, and this was exactly the big moment that she needed to get her season going. A player who's been trying to pick up where she left off in the NCAA tournament. She was one of their unsung heroes, and she's an unsung hero again today. And that may be game, set, match. A lot of time still left to go. We know Carolina, they're a team that will not give up. But for Bella Najera to get a 2-goal cushion for the Spartans, that's a stuff of dreams.
You mentioned the experience of Najera. Jeff Hostler trying to get her to play more free, put less pressure on herself. Coming into the year, he said, I would take you any day of the week. Big moments, late in matches. I want Bella Najera. They've been trying to get her to enjoy the game again and love and fall in love with the game of soccer. And what a moment that was. It was a clash strike from outside the 18 on the free kick.
It reminds me of the quality she showed in the NCAA tournament against Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons last season. She was the difference. She was the standout player. And confidence is a funny thing. Sometimes when you experience.
See if Carolina can respond. Is that one deflected? It'll be a throw for Carolina.
Sometimes when you experience success, it has this negative impact on you if you let it, where you feel like you have to change who you are and try and do a bit more. At times watching her, especially in their most recent game coming into this one, it just felt like she was trying to be someone that she's not. She's a very good player. She has goals and goals by the bunches in her boots. But if you keep it simple, if you get back to doing the basics well, the goals will come. And today she's done the basics well with and without the ball.
What a ball. Vertical, unlocking lines. Kendall inside the 6, another big tackle. It was clean, according to the head ref. And I see Jeff Hostler already looking at his coaching staff and was taking a peek, trying to find the monitor. We'll continue play. Watson near the flag. Piotrowski. Michigan State leads 3-1 on the road. Confident as we take another look.
This is excellent combination play from the Spartans, and this is Callie O'Neill. What a tackle. You go in at first, and you're not there. The reason why she makes that tackle is she lunges into it, but she keeps her left foot shifting, and you have to keep your feet moving, or else if you're static, if you're lunging in and your other foot that you're not lunging with doesn't come with you, then you're going to get it wrong every single time. Should Carolina get back in this game and get another goal, we'll be talking about that play over and over again, because that's a play that changes momentum, Aria.
A terrific tackle indeed. Now Carolina down a pair of goals on their home pitch. Down a player as well. It's 11 on 10. How do you approach the final 24 minutes? Obviously, you want to go for it and climb back in, but you are going to be giving up a ton of territory, and risk has to be managed.
This is where, from a defensive standpoint, players, and we're already seeing Callie O'Neill come in as one of the 2 center back pairings. You really have to do gamble. You have to keep 2 center backs back. And this is where I see a player like Blum. She's been quiet ever since the goal from Bell, and Bell's coming back in, so you're kept a bit honest. So yes, you have to gamble. I really see out wide. That is where the spaces Carolina have been devastating when they've had opportunities, but they've let themselves down with a bit of lack of quality in the final third. So getting back to getting Bloom on the ball is going to be important.
Good to see Kennedy Bell back in there and playing for Michigan State. She's got 2 goals in this match. It's been Bell twice and Najera. Summer Denigan's goal for Carolina equalized in the first half. And now a ton of questions being asked of UNC. They'll learn something about themselves in the next 22 minutes, no doubt.
It's a great learning opportunity for an overall young team, and this is where, for some of your U20 national team players going off, how do you want to send your team off before you go and play on the world stage? And some of the young players like Antonucci need to get back in the game, because when she's on it, she's on it. Strawn as well. She's really come to life in the last couple minutes.
Antonucci earns a corner. There were calls and groans from the fans after a Tar Heel went down away from the ball. Sixth corner. Now for Carolina. Plenty of time for the Heels. However, the circumstances are mounting against them. Down to 10 and down 2 goals. Need to find something here. Not a bad redirect from Denigan. But Henning, calm, confident, untested.
Just having this flashback of premonitions being here, and I remember actually being on Doran's Field in a similar situation when I was at Wake Forest, and especially in my sophomore year, early on in the season, we played the Carolina Classic, and we were down a player. And one of the feelings you get as a young player is there's this question that's asked of you when it's not going your way. Are you going to wilt, or are you going to rise to the occasion? And I'm looking at the body language, some of the Carolina players, and I mentioned Antonucci. When the team was struggling in terms of going down a goal, she was the one that demanded the ball at her feet and got the team back into the game, obviously getting the assist. I want to see her, even if she has to drop deep to get the ball, floating between the lines. She is the supply line to getting Bella Devi back in the game, because Devi's a runner, but Antonucci's the one who can provide the last pass. She has passing range, but she needs to find the game.
Right piece of skill from Manning on an individual run. A dispossess. Now Michigan State with it. Sparty looking for the dagger on the road. The veterans versus the youth between Michigan State and North Carolina. Spartans have a ton of seniors. Carolina, a ton of freshmen and sophomores. And early in the season, that typically tends to favor the older side. And these seasons are chapters. Both teams will look wildly different in October and into November. No doubt about it, as the NCAA tournament starts to appear on each team's shoulders. Still in non-conference play. And Michigan State looks the part so far.
They really do. Just the confidence is teaming through them, and goals give that, especially quality goals off the free kick from Najera. And we're just seeing discipline withering away for the Tar Heels, and that's going to come, especially if you're O'Neal, who's an aggressive player going in. And this is actually a smart foul. This is a tactical foul from O'Neal, because if you don't make that foul there, you now have to run 50 or 60 yards more to maybe recover. So, you know, these small moments, and with the cooling break coming on, this is where you have to find yourself if you're a young team. And it's a marathon, not a sprint, but it's massive.
Hydration break in Chapel Hill. We'll step aside as well. Michigan State up 3-1 on Carolina. We'll be right back here on ACC.
Are you watching? Good. Because it's time. Time to run this city. Get your hands dirty. Do something that changes everything. Whatever happens next, happens here.
Hi. You okay?
Yeah, just changing up my look.
I see that.
I gotta lay low. See that brand new Hyundai Tucson? I only paid.
Huh. Well, you look stunning.
Enjoy your new car.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get $2,000 bonus cash on a Hyundai Elantra or lease for $179 a month. See your hometown Hyundai dealer.
long and be a part of the greatest dog sports series on television.
Back here on ACC Network, Michigan State leading 3-1. They've been outstanding. Kennedy Bell, Bella Najera have done the honors so far, and this match got turned upside down after Gattino pulled down Sargent. It went to a coach's challenge official review, and Michael, after review, the red card came out, and Carolina's been reduced to 10.
Yeah, and it really changed the momentum for the Tar Heels, because up until this point, the Tar Heels, it was one-way traffic. They were pressing the Spartans, but full credit to Emerson Sargent to stepping up. And speaking of stepping up, my word, Bella Najera, are you kidding me? Picking up where she left off. This was what the quality we saw from her against Colorado in the tournament. And this was a big game for her confidence and a big moment for the Spartans.
I'm having flashes of a young Rose Lavelle, who played in the Big Ten as well. Set piece maestro. And Najera, who's finding her joy again this season. Now in her senior year, St. Charles, Illinois native, was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year back in 2023. Three-time Big Ten honors for Najera. So Michigan State has found themselves with a statement on the road. Just under 20 minutes to play as Kennedy comes into the match for Carolina, as does Shayla Bradley. And Leckie in for George as well for Michigan State. The UNC team that has not lost by 2 goals at home since Dorrance Field opened and was crowned in 2019. So this would be historic. But the Heels have shown some fight already today, and maybe they're not done yet. They're down to 10. Odds are stacked against them. Michigan State looks like a College Cup favorite that we thought they were coming into the year. The Big Ten favorites in the preseason. Experienced, seasoned, mature, and Jeff Hosler's side came in with a plan and a mission, and so far they've stuck to it. But it's a UNC team who has a ton of resilience as well.
They really have to show that resilience, and they have to show it fast, because oftentimes when you're pushing up, when you're having to have this sense of desperation about you, you're vulnerable at the back. And with Kennedy Bell on the field, you're going to feel some of that vulnerability in transition. One of the things that I would like to see from Carolina is I want to see who in this back line is going to take the onus on themselves to take a gamble. Who is it going to be that says, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to make a line-breaking pass? Those things, they add on to themselves. Someone that has confidence or shows a bit of confidence, if it's Callie O'Neill with her big tackle that she had there on Caleb Brigg, that's felt in the middle of the park. Big plays from the back line translate to big plays in the midfield and big opportunities in the final third. We just haven't seen it, but this might be it.
Blum was charging in, and a clip of the back heels. It's a point to the spot. Carolina awarded a penalty kick. It was Strawn who comes up limping. Outstanding piece of individual effort for Strawn. She gets on the ball here and is clipped across that left ankle. I think it's a good call.
Oh, this is a big, big call, because you have to be certain that the contact is there, and the contact looks like it's there, but I'd like to see the other angle, because when you look at it, sometimes even if a player whiffs from that angle, it looks like there's contact made. Now, the point of contact is the point in question, and it has to be conclusive enough to overturn. There's a part of me that feels like it may have whiffed, but from that angle, it looks like the contact is there. So if you're a referee in a game like this, you have to be 100% sure that there is not any contact to overturn this. And that's the thing in question. I don't know if this is clear and obvious enough to overturn, so I could see this standing.
And it was Lutke on the potential tackle. We'll see. Is there any contact here? Does she catch the bottom of the cleats? Hard to tell. Clearly, Michigan State does not think so, as Jeff Hostler has challenged this. Michael, what do you think?
Looking from that slow-mo, it goes back to it. It's inconclusive. It's 6 in one, half a dozen the other. Now, there's something that's happening in the game of soccer where video review, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. If there's any doubt from a refereeing perspective, I would stick with your call on the field. It's a cruel call. If it's a touch, it's a soft touch. But by the letter of the law, if you make contact in the box, that is a penalty. And from this standpoint, you're looking to see, does Strawn get there first? Or does Lutke get a touch on the ball? From this standpoint, I don't see the ball changing direction from Lutke's contact into Strawn. I think there's contact made. I think she catches the bottom of Strawn's boot. Although it's slight contact, it is contact nonetheless, and this will be a penalty.
Yeah, certainly if you're a Michigan State fan, you're probably screaming at home, no contact, there's no way. And maybe you have a point. But if you're Carolina in that moment, and Strawn, you could see awkwardly falling onto her right leg after potential contacts, this would be a huge lifeline opportunity for the Tar Heels trying to pull one back.
It came from something out of nothing, and I talked about players who were willing to gamble, and it started from Carolina showing a bit of urgency from the back line. Now getting into midfield. Now, here's the moment at hand.
And they are going to confirm that it was indeed a penalty. And so the Heels, with a huge opportunity here to pull one back. And they'll let Sealey Strawn stand over the ball. The freshman from Prosper, Texas, will be a member of the United States U20 World Cup team. Against another player in net who will be on Canada's U20 World Cup roster, Noe Henning. Strawn, straight up to it, slots it home. As clean as you like. The rookie pulls one back, and Carolina has its lifeline.
A massive moment in this game is just unfolded right before our eyes, because big refereeing decisions do change momentum, but you still have to have the composure to take advantage of it. And you kidding me? This is a freshman? She looks like a grad student with the way she composed herself. It's the reason why she's going to the U20 World Cup, and for her to step up as a midfielder, to step up and say, I want this moment, that's an example of leadership to the rest of the team, and game on.
First Carolina goal of her career for Sealey Strawn. And now the Heels have some optimism. They see a crack in the window. It's 3-2. The Heels are down to 10 women. The red card on Gattino in the 63rd minute. A handball on the Heels. But Michael, these next 5 minutes, usually after a goal, the energy usually tends to pick up for the team that just scored.
And it's picking up for the crowd as well. For a while, especially after the red card, you could hear the crowd just get quiet, and it creates a bit of doubt. As a player, especially as a young player, you start feeding off the energy from the outside. And it's difficult when you're here to entertain, you're here to win games, but now hearing this crowd get back into it, it wills you forward as a player. It gives you 5 extra yards of boost, but you can't make mistakes like that.
That took an eerie touch. Luckily, if you're a Carolina fan, that didn't lead to anything disastrous. A foul on number 20 for Michigan State. That's Shelby Vaughn, the junior from Creston, Ohio. How do you anticipate this final 15 and change going?
I see Carolina building up from the left and trying to get Strawn isolated out wide right. We've seen her play as a center midfielder for much of this game since she's come in, but we see this versatility from just about every single Tar Heel player in this roster. So getting Strawn isolated, her ability to create just 1v1 opportunities, but also her quality of service. The goal comes from her drifting in and out of spaces. I wouldn't be surprised if she starts out right. If the ball's on the left, someone breaks free down the end line, and she's the one catching in on a golden opportunity, maybe with a finish. But getting her isolated 1v1, that's the start of something special.
You have to keep an eye on the other side as well, right? As Carolina commits numbers forward, there will be space in behind for Michigan State to be able to exploit if they're able to turn the heels over. And so the chess match that has taken so many different wrinkles. We talked about the boxing match analogy. This has been that haymakers from both sides and two tough champions going to battle in Chapel Hill today.
Love a good sparring, and so much so I don't box anymore. I used to box. I took a big jab. Taught me a lesson. But for Carolina, when you're a young team and Michigan State delivers what felt like a knockout blow, it's how do you get up from that? And so for them to respond immediately, it shows you that they have the steel, and you use the word resilience, which I think is powerful. I think there's a mental fortitude about them that we're seeing unfold. Now you're seeing 50-50 tackles being won that weren't being won when the third goal went in, weren't being won when they went down 2-1. And so those things add up to get the team back in the game. And Michigan State right now looks like it's 11v11, given how Carolina are responding.
The press from Carolina causing fits for Michigan State, leads to a turnover. Huge tackle. Should be a booking as well. And it is. It was a big intervention from Renee Watson, perhaps necessary as Carolina had flipped the fields, but she goes into the book.
Shayla Bradley doing well, coming on, and she's come on in the last couple of minutes. And you need to bring energy if you're a sub. Bringing energy and bringing legs, fresh energy gives fresh belief for the Tar Heels.
Shayla Bradley, a great story for Carolina, working back from a torn ACL that happened in the fourth game of last season. And they brought her back slowly, got her 25 minutes against Arkansas. And she began her career at Rutgers, where she was a Big Ten All-Freshman team member. But she'll be a key piece as she gets back to full health, match fitness, and able to help this Carolina team who's going to lose a lot of pieces throughout the year.
She'll feel highly motivated going up against a familiar opponent in Michigan State in that familiar conference for her. So, look, some players are motivated by goals, some players are motivated by resilience. She will be motivated to remind people that she has the quality to really impact this team in a big match like this.
Strawn had the penalty a moment ago. Passes forward to Kennedy. Strawn under her right foot. Clear shot blocked. Oh, it was Bella Najera getting all the way back and putting her body in front of the frame. It'll be a corner. 7th for Carolina.
Important block from Najera. You see her spying right there. And if you're Watson, you have to be careful because she lunges in again. She's on the yellow. And I mentioned it. Strawn is the one that could change the game, and she's already starting to.
Strawn does the honors. Knuckling ball to the back post. Who falls on it? It's Michigan State who clears it out of the box. And here's that space we talked about in behind. Bell has the ball cut out. Oh, Ashley Penny. 60-yard sprint back to get it.
I love it. And Riley Kennedy as well, doing the work to slow down Bell.
Now Blum has been dangerous on the wings. Big, heavy touch. It'll be a goal kick. Carolina starting to breed some confidence over the last few moments after the penalty goal.
It's coming from wide areas. Both Blum and Strawn getting involved. And those are the two players that have the technical quality to change this game and turn it on ahead. Michigan State right now, even though they have the experience, there's a sense of rattledness about them. And that's what goals will do to you. 1 minute, you're cruising to the finish line, but this is the Carolina Tar Heels. This isn't UNC of somewhere else we don't even know in Carolina. These are the standard bearers of women's soccer and soccer as a whole.
Most dominant program all time in the college game. The North Carolina Tar Heels, 34 college cups. Anson Doran's built it. Damon Nahas has ushered in a new era that's been just as successful. And this Michigan State team This is what Jeff Hostler wanted, a tough schedule amongst the toughest she'll play and see in college soccer. He wanted tests. He wanted to find out what this experienced, seasoned team could do. So he brought his team on the road to Chapel Hill. Terrific through ball. Strawn, right-handed, right-footed cross towards that end line. Did it cross the end line? Yes, it did. Corner.
Carolina turning up the pressure, cranking up the heat. Just the cleverness of movement from Strawn. She's a player that could step in any position. If she could step in goalkeeper and be just as effective. I have that much confidence in her. Showing her versatility and just high soccer IQ already.
She's put in a terrific shift, especially in the second half for the Tar Heels. 8th corner. Service towards that 6-yard box, bending outwards, top of the 18, strike, and it bends away. Callie O'Neill was going for glory.
She saw her name in the ACC Team of the Week headlines, and sometimes when you have that rush of blood to the head, your technique fails you, and it did there. She slices across it. Missed opportunity.
Just over 10 minutes to play. Emerson Sargent back on the pitch for Michigan State. Trayer comes all the way off her line, blasts it forward, and the Heels will earn the ball in plus territory in good position.
Uncharacteristic mistake from Faith George there. Now, I just wonder, with the sun bearing overhead, especially as a defender in the Michigan State back line, if you lose the ball at times, it messes with your decision-making.
See what Deuce Stanislaus can do in this final 10 minutes. Outstanding freshman, making her Carolina debut on the cross. Oh! What a moment there for Sealey Strawn. Found herself open. Just couldn't put it on frame.
What a ball in for Strawn. Hits it on an absolute rope. And she almost shocked herself at how quickly she got there, unmarked. Those are opportunities that you need to compose yourself if you're Strawn. So that can make all the difference, and that's what's really made the difference here. Carolina's had a ton of chances. They've outshot Michigan State, but it's the Spartans who showed the composure when needed most, and that's why they're up 3-2.
Yeah, they've been more clinical, no doubt about that. And to your point, Carolina outshooting Michigan State 20-7, nearly tripling the output of the Spartans. But Michigan State has picked their moments. They've wasted no movements getting forward. And Kennedy Bell has shown you why she's one of the best players in the country. Bella Najera showing you the quality she brings in the Big Ten, night in and night out for years now. And a Michigan State team that looks the part of someone that no doubt could make the College Cup. Maybe a dark horse for a national title. And looking like those preseason favorites in the Big Ten. Keep an eye on Washington. Keep an eye on Ohio State. Iowa's got a good club too. This Carolina team, there are no secrets. They get everyone's best shot, no matter what. But what can the Heels do now? Lively ball, played back across. It'll be a corner. 9th coming of the afternoon for the Heels.
A lot of Carolina's attacks are coming down this right or left-hand side, the right-hand side for the Spartans. Amari Manning, I want to give her a special shout because she's come in, she's a young player coming off national team camp with the U17s, and you would never know it. She was the one that hit that dart of a cross in, and now you see her growing in confidence, making overlapping runs, popping out of the back three, and getting in the final third. Really good work from her.
From that corner flag, outswinging ball towards the penalty spot for Bradley. Here's Bradley, shot over the bar. Nearly had a stunning moment. Wow, Carolina inching closer. And Michigan State, they're going to have to hold on.
They really are. I really noticed the difference in they're starting to lose the midfield battle, and I talked about how significant that is. And sometimes as a player, from a psychological standpoint, some of the worst things that can happen is what you do in terms of taking a foot off the gas when you go a player up. And ever since Michigan State got the third goal, it's almost as if they've rested on their laurels and said, okay, let's just see this game out with almost 20 minutes left. This is a Carolina side that will not let up. They're relentless. If you're Michigan State, you have to get the ball back on the ground and just start connecting some passes, getting some confidence going.
Tar Heels are lurking. They are breathing down the backs of Michigan State. These games provide opportunities for us to see the personalities of what these groups will become as the seasons roll on. And you've got to love what you see from both sides. Both Michigan State and North Carolina will be factors this season in their respective conferences. There'll be a foul going the other way. And Damon Nahas talked about it, Michael. Learning to love the game and fall in love with the game. He preaches that to his team. He said, you have to learn to love the moments when you're suffering, because that's what keeps you coming back day in and day out. There will be tough moments in life, and you've got to be able to deal with it, love those moments, and push forward.
I think the suffering is what defines champions. The suffering is what you look back on. You rarely, when you get to the summit, you rarely say, do you remember that 8-0 win that we had? You talk about, do you remember when we were up against it, when we were down a player against the Spartans, and we showed fight that we didn't know that we have? Games like this test you in so many ways. It tests your spirit most of all. And, you know, former Carolina Tar Heel head coach and coach when I was there, Hanson Dorrance, he talked about having the spirit of a champion, and the will to win is what defines the spirit of a champion.
Antonucci back in as Kennedy comes off. Those Hanson Dorrance squads, they never cease to amaze, because it's hard to get to the top. It's even harder to stay at the top. And year in and year out, to breed the culture, the competitiveness, to have something to fight for, something new to fight for every year. No one did it better than Hanson Dorrance in North Carolina.
And Coach Nahas really reaping the rewards of being in that culture and extending that culture. And this is a big counterattacking opportunity. I've noticed that it's getting chippy, and yellow cards are flying left and right.
Going down there was Manning, and the card issued to George. So she's in the book.
This becomes very interesting. Manning again driving forward, being one of the players to be a catalyst for change. Now, if you're the Spartans and if you're Carolina, both fullbacks for the Spartans are on yellow cards. So for the Tar Heels, you do not want to go down the heart and soul of the team. Get the ball wide, get your wide players 1v1, and really challenge players who are on yellow cards.
Lofted into the box towards that 6-yard box. Oh, Hennig falls on it. You've got to have confidence to be able to make that play if you're Hennig, to climb the trees and go get it.
You really do. There's an air of responsibility that she takes with every single thing that comes within her six. And in the game of soccer, they tell you as a goalkeeper to command your six. She has a commanding presence and makes commanding decisions.
Summer Denigan coming back in for North Carolina, as is Piotrowski for Michigan State. Does Denigan have any heroics in her in this one? Fourth best player in the country coming into the year, according to Top Drawer Soccer. An instant impact. She has had a goal or assist now in every single game as a Carolina Tar Heel, this being game number 4 of the campaign. And so she's put her influence on every match. Can the Heels climb out of a hole and get a result? This would feel like a win for Damon Nahas' group, considering the circumstances and considering the opponent. Down 3-1 after the red card to Gattino and Najera's dazzling strike from a free kick outside the 18. But Sealey Strawn has pulled one back to make it 3-2, and Carolina answering questions still. Heavy touch And the weight of the ball, a little bit too much for Antonucci.
Heavy pass from Strawn, and this is where, when you get into the final third, that is where you just have to do the little things well. And I wonder if, as a player, for her, given her giftedness on the ball, and we've already seen her giftedness, her ability to create something out of nothing, some of the chances she single-handedly created, sometimes you let yourself down not doing the little things well. You kind of think of the third step before you get to step one and step two, and step one is just connecting the pass.
Trayer mishits that clearance. It'll be a throw for Michigan State, who will be in no hurry.
You'll see defenders walking to every single ball and throw in from here on out for the Spartans.
Penny on the touchline. Strawn, now Penny. Bell closing down quickly. Strong intervention, but it's a foul. Carolina trying a quick play. They'll be brought back. Under 3 to play. Top 10 showdown from Chapel Hill. It has lived up to the hype. That ball, oh, just cut out. Not a bad idea to Stanislas. Goal kick, Michigan State. Renee Watson shields the ball well.
It's good work from Watson on the yellow and really doing the smart thing by seeing plays through. And for the Spartans, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to still battle for the 50-50s. You're going to have to do the things that got you to this point. You're going to have to just compete. Having that competitive spirit sees you over the line.
Alvarez, Denigan brings it down, soft touch. O'Neal. Tar Heels connecting, trying to build into the attack. Antonucci, Manning, direct ball over the top. And heading on it, falls down. Kills off a few more precious seconds.
Manning making the wrong choice there. I like the idea of getting the ball in the box. Obviously, time running down, but the angle is working against her. The ball has to go wide. Get it wide to Summer Denigan, who has a better look at the cross and a better angle to get service in.
Speaking of Denigan, she carries forward. On her left foot, throw in Carolina. Bell with the intervention. Denigan cutting to her right, crosses it in. Just too tall for Strawn. Under a minute to go. Perhaps one last effort now for Carolina off the throw-in. They'll have to hurry. Strawn. With 20 seconds to go now. Headed away. Alvarez will need to get this into the box. Manning with 10. Denigan with 9. Clock ticking down. And that's going to do it. A veteran Michigan State team. Favorites in the Big Ten. Top 5 in the country. Comes on the road and takes down